What's up, everybody? Today I'm recording a video that I've wanted to do for some time, where I just talk about the old days and like my WarCraft III career and when I started playing, and then go over some tournaments and open some pictures. I've gathered, let me count real quick. I've got a folder with 122 photos, so I'll try and open some of them as we talk about some tournaments. And yeah, let's get started. So I started playing pretty much at the start of when the game was released. And in my team, there was already 2 Night Elf players and 1 Orc. So I thought I should either play Undead or Human. And then after playing a little bit, I was like, I'll play Human. So that's what I was practicing with at first. And one of the first important tournaments that I took part in was Arma team. They were going to build a team. They had a sponsor, Intel, which back then was a big deal. We're talking like 2003, I think it was, probably maybe 2002, but I think 2003. They were going to build a team, and they already had a sponsor, namely Intel. And they wanted to organize a big tournament in Paris to try and figure out who are the best French players. And yeah, recruit a bunch of them. So they organized that tournament. Sadly, I couldn't find a page for it. But yeah, I went there. There was a lot of players. There was at least, I think, more than 30 players. And I didn't do super well in it. I think I beat a couple people, and then I just lost, and I didn't play very well, I think, at the time. But it definitely motivated me after that to try and try even harder. Yeah, so I wasn't recruited right off the bat. Thank you very much, Tunatic, for the dono. Much love, my dude. Yeah, so I wasn't recruited into Arma team immediately. It came rather later, but the player that did win the tournament was one of my best friends called Overmind. Maybe we can find him in there. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, 2002. So that was 2002. So Overmind won that tournament, which was a pretty big deal because all the best French players were there. He was my 2-on-2 partner, and then I kind of got recruited into Arma team as a 2-on-2 player initially, actually, not as solo, because I wasn't that great. I was okay, but I kind of underperformed in tournaments back then. So they finally recruited me, and then very quickly after that, I started performing more and more. Like online, I was beating very good players pretty much immediately. And I showed promise, I guess. And that's where I really started leveling up a lot more than in the past. I was laddering a lot. I was full-time. And one of the first big, the first big international tournament that I went to was CPL Cannes 2003. Which was early in 2003, looks like. And yeah, Cannes, if you guys don't know, is like where there's the movie festival held, kind of like Sunny City on the southern coast of France. If I look at like some of these tournaments lineups, I feel like it's so crazy. Like, look at how many, like, I don't know how many of you guys will be familiar with these guys, but there is so many big names, it feels to me. You know, like He-Man was one of the best players back then. Survivor was incredible. He was playing a lot of Mountain King first. Tailorman, one of like the biggest names of all time. Insomnia, absolute legends. Seagull was a very good orc from Greece. Shore was excellent. Matt Frog. We got Blatty. Vancor was actually, I didn't even know he was at this tournament. What the hell? 420, which was also known as Cure. DD8, also one of the best players early on, and a very good Brood War player initially. Kind of same thing for Zeus. We had Kai. Wait, what? He was on SK? I thought he was on Four Kings. Intox, the best French player at this period, and maybe the best player overall. There was Plague. There was another German player. I forgot the name. Maybe we'll see him in the brackets. And yeah, Beaver was also one of those very good players. I don't remember Eirik. But yeah, not everybody is even listed. Like Soul is actually in there too. Old school Brood War player, I believe, who also later on became poker player, and I think I think he made a World Series of Poker final table. So this guy was pretty much good at everything. So the format was kind of crazy. It was just like brackets all over the place. Like, they cannot even show it in like one single bracket on this page. But yeah, going to this tournament, I just wanted to do as well as I could. I didn't really know what to expect. I knew I could beat a lot of the players, but also didn't have a very good mindset in that. I mean, I don't know if I would call it like a bad mindset, but I would definitely, I mean, I will explain more, I guess. Like, I ended up giving death wins to my teammates to let them advance just because I wasn't really confident and I didn't want them to show their strategy necessarily in this tournament. So yeah, in bracket 1, like, we see some of the favorites. Fatsy actually beat him in here. Fatsy was insane in Human Mirror. Like later on, he went on to become the best French player, and then I lost to him in a lot of tournaments in the finals because he kept beating me in Human Mirror. He was really, really good. He-Man back then was an absolute monster. So in this one, Tillerman actually, what the hell? Oh, he lost to Medi. I didn't remember that. Chills was also another good French elf. Insomnia was one of the absolute best. Yeah, Blatty was really, really good as well at the time. And then, so here, I mean, this is not all the matches. There was matches before that. I beat one of my friends, still to this day, Armor. I played against Survivor, and actually, he was like, technically, he was the best Mount Tanking first user in Europe and one of the few guys to do it. And I really liked playing Mount Tanking first myself. And I remember I played him Mount Tanking versus Mount Tanking and somehow won. I was kind of shocked. I didn't expect to be able to beat Survivor, but yeah, I was pretty happy to beat one of the better players in Europe. But then I gave Def win to Intox because we had been practicing quite a bit for this tournament, and he was going for mass Ancient of Wars uprooted, that which back then was like really hard to counter. They had so much armor, even though you could Stormbolt Ancient of Wars technically, they just wouldn't die, and it didn't seem like there was much of a counter available to it. And I thought that not only I was probably going to lose, but also it will help the future opponents of Intox if they saw the strategy. So I was like, we'll keep it hidden. So I gave him the win. And let me see. Yeah, so Overmind, who was the first player on Arma team, over there went all the way there and then lost to Sol, who was pretty good. Shobo was actually there too. And then Matt Frog proceeded as well in this bracket, which leads us into this final bracket. Holy shit, there's like a whole loser brackets down there. This format was just, wait. Is it a different loser bracket? No, it's not. Wait, so I lost earlier than this? I'm confused by this, but anyway, like, so this is the final bracket. So DD8 was able to beat Zeus, Insomnia beat Chills, and then Insomnia beat DD8 to make it to the finals. Intox played against Blatty and won. Soul won against Mad Frog, and then Intox played against Soul, and that was it. That was where the Ancient of Wars were revealed to the world. Intox beat Soul using that strategy, and then everybody took notice and knew that it was going to be really hard to beat the uprooted Ancient of Wars. And Insomnia in the finals put up a very good fight, especially considering how broken it was, but eventually lost, and we had a French player winning the first international tournament, at least that I know of, happening over in Europe, in France in this case. For his efforts, he won 3K. Back then, it was a really big deal winning 3K. Like, we're talking like 2003, so I remember like we were talking about how Arma team was going to take a cut and stuff of his money and everything. And yeah, it was a pretty big deal. We were all very proud that a French player actually managed to win that. I kind of wish, oh, okay. I think this might be here. Okay, yeah, loser bracket part 2. So after I gave the win to Intox, I fell into lower bracket and I met MNZ, which was a very good French undead. And I was able to win. Then I met Beaver, who also was like a very good elf in Europe. And I beat him as well. And I remember actually one of those games was on Tranquil Path. And I built farms for vision all over the map. And I could see basically the entire map. And I remember that after the series or something, he told me like, yeah, nice farms. Because I basically could see everything thanks to those farms being everywhere. But yeah, back then, I really think that human was the best race besides the Ancient of War. If you remove the Ancient of War away, I think human was the best race, which actually later on got nerfed. the Ancient of Wars, they got nerfed. But yeah, he was playing standard. You know, he was going Demon Hunter and trying to creep a lot. And I was playing Archmage MK. Like the old Mountain King was obviously a tear. Yeah. So I won that, and then I met Blatty, and I think I gave him the win as well. I was probably not very confident, and I wanted him to have a pretty good chance. I thought he had a better chance than me. I don't know why, but back then I was really not confident. I thought I was going to lose to everyone, but then I still beat a whole bunch of people. Like when I played Survivor, I thought I was going to lose. When I played Beaver, I thought I was going to lose, but then I ended up beating a bunch of them. I didn't have a very strong mindset, despite practicing a good amount yet in my career at this point. I was really like at the start of my career. And yeah, Blatty ended up winning against Wicked Game, and then he lost to Soul. Wait, so that's the final bracket, yeah. So what were we looking at earlier? Oh no, he was there too, okay. Damn, such complicated. So yeah, in this, yeah, Insomnia made it all the way to the finals and lost to Intox. He even beat Didi. But yeah, Didi was playing, I think, standard without Ancient of War, or maybe not as abusive as Intox was doing it. Yo, Grindig123 with a sub. Thank you very much. Welcome, dude. Yeah, so that was my first big international tournament, which left an impression on me that, like, I was very motivated to try and do better next time. And also, I saw a human god in Insomnia, which really inspired me. I was like, I want to be like that guy. I want to be as strong as him. Because every game that he played seemed like it was such, I don't know, an effort. Like he was always trying hard. He was always playing really well. It was so hard to defeat this guy. I was like, I want to be like him for sure. So I practiced super hard after that. And there was a tournament called Clikarena. Let's see, this was in March, right? There's a tournament called Clikarena, which I went to as a spectator. That was actually 1 month later. I went there as a spectator. There was Korean players there, actually, which was a very big deal. Elki also came from Korea. I think they all came for the big prize. But apparently the Europeans prevailed. And yeah, I wasn't playing in this one. I don't know why exactly, but can't remember why. Maybe I didn't qualify. I don't know if there was qualifiers. And in this one, things changed a little bit. The Ancient of Wars, there was a rule, I think, where you can only uproot a certain amount of Ancient of War. I'm not sure if that was the tournament, actually. My memory is quite blurry around a lot of these tournaments, but now maybe there was no rules about the Ancient of War, and then somehow Insomnia still beat Intox. But the finals was, no, actually, yeah, I think there was no rule. The finals was an elf, where it was Mass Ancient of War and Mass Glaive Throwers, basically. And it was a bit of a shit show. And Soul, by the way, who was playing human in Cannes, came back as a Night Elf, because Ancient of Wars were broken, and he was abusing that a bunch himself. Even though it says that he played the human here, I'm not even sure. I don't think that's accurate. I think he played Elf, but maybe I don't remember correctly. I just know in the finals he played Elf, yes. And DD was able to execute that style better than him and won. And he got 10k, which I think that was never paid, actually. That was like one of those scam tournaments, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. So let's go to where it continues. We're still in 2003. Is this even? Yeah, that was an online cup. There is not a bracket apparently, but yeah, FAT-C1 and I got top 4. So not a ton of tournaments back then. I think I'm gonna do a open new page. That's gonna be easier. So then finally comes the ESWC qualifiers, where basically there was like maybe like 10 or 12 cities or something like that, maybe more in France. And in each city, there is a qualifier. And you don't have to be from that city necessarily, but usually people from the region will come and play to try and qualify for the ESWC. That was the way it was done back then. It was like a regional circuit into national and then into international. And 4 players were going to qualify for the ESWC, like the international version, I think it was. I don't think it was in Paris. And also this is like all weird and bugged. This is not for 2005. But yeah, I remember that I went there and I played against Blatty in the finals. And my memory of a lot of those things is like quite blurry, but I remember that I played Blatty on Knollwoods, and I was really freestyling. Like, I was going into some rifles and then into some knights, tri-hero, creeping the golem. I was very good at creeping, actually, back then. That was already kind of my strength, and I was doing that a lot. And because the human tri-hero was so strong, or even just Archmage MK, I did very well because of it. Because I had a good rhythm, and I microed well. Messiash83 with a sub. Thank you very much, my dude. Welcome. Yeah, so I ended up winning the French qualifier, which, you know, was a big deal. Like, this was like a multi-game event. There was like WarCraft III. I think there was Unreal tournaments. There was always Counter-Strike, which is like master race in France. It was always the most played game and most followed. But WarCraft III, people still did pay a little bit of attention to it. And I was the French champion for the first one, but little bit of an asterisk. There was no FATSI at this tournament. So even though I became French champion, I think FATSI went on to qualify. There was some sort of wildcat qualifier online, and he qualified for ESWC that way. Which leads us to the international tournament. I don't know why this is out of order, I'm pretty sure, by the way. The dates, they are like wrong. But yeah, the actual main event was in Poitiers, which is, maybe you can show. So this is here in France. And to go to Poitiers, you have to go to Paris, and then you take a train. And me at this time, I was living here in Marseille, in the south of France. So I had to take the train all the way up to Paris and then back down. So it was kind of a long journey. So yeah, I was on the road all the time, journeying to events basically. It was a big deal. You had to go to events. So as far as the tournaments go, yeah, big tournament with people from all around the world. Again, there was Koreans, which was a very big deal. Showtime and Dayfly were absolute stars in the scene. Everybody knew of them. We thought they were gonna win for sure. And in the first group stage, it looks like a lot of the favorites did well. I think Tillerman at this time was already starting to fall off a little bit, so he didn't advance. But I was in a group with Matt Frog. I lost to him. I remember playing against Cafone from Italy. And I remember like there was a window through which a lot of sunlight was going through into the room and blinding his screen, and he couldn't really see very well. And I actually helped him fix that so we could get our match going, and then I played against him and I won. In group stage 2, I had He-Man, Showtime, Apex. So I was like, this is going to be really hard because He-Man was insane. And Showtime, at the time, was considered maybe the best player, or at least also I thought. He was like a really hyped player. Maybe poised to win the whole thing. And I remember I played Showtime, and I remember that we played a game on Lost Temple. And I remember winning and thinking that Lost Temple was maybe a little too easy for Human and quite broken. Ah, shit. Yeah, you can't see more details. But yeah, this poor Apex drew the wrong group here for sure. Yeah, I barely lost to Human as well. In this group, Insomnia and Bloody Advance Intox started falling off a little bit. And in Group C, there was a major drama, actually. Matt Frog was playing as Dayfly. There was a game on Knollwoods. Dayfly was playing with almost no actual orc units. I think he was Farseer, and I don't remember what exactly, what second hero, but he was Farseer first. And he was buying all the mercenaries on Knollwoods. He had a shitload of Troll Berserkers. It was a crazy game. It was into the late game. Matt Frog had super high level heroes. We didn't know who was going to win. Some people were like, oh, the Coronova is going to prevail. And then other people thought, no, the Orc's going to be fine. And then Matt Frog, apparently, he tripped over a power source that was under his computer, which turned off his computer. So then there was a giant meeting of referees. Everybody was like weighing in. They're like, no, it should be regamed. No, it shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. And eventually, they gave the regame. Dayfly, as you would expect, was probably not into it too much mentally after something like that. And he lost, and he was eliminated. So that was it for the Koreans. So big upset, because Dayfly against Showtime, that could have been the finals of this tournament, or at least many people thought so. But Matt Frog advanced in first place. Jojo, no, actually, yeah, there was still Jojo, yeah, that advanced in second place. And then in Group D, Fat C was insanely good at the time. Wizard took second. And Grubby, who was Night Elf back then, took third. Yeah, I don't really know about these games. Seagull fourth. Going to the bracket, He-Man beat Bloody. Fat C beat Jojo. I beat Insomnia, who was my idol. Remember, Insomnia is like the first player that I saw do very well at CPL Cannes. So actually, like at the time, like I'm really starting to find more confidence, I guess, when I play tournaments. And I just don't really worry about much. I just try and play my best, which in this case happened, and I did very well. But then Matrock beat Wizard, and in the semifinals, we had to play on stage in front of so many people. They put what is it called? They put heart rate monitors on us so that they could monitor our heart rate. And like, all of this kind of made me nervous. I remember we did an interview on stage before the match. They asked Matt Froggy if he was gonna win, and he was like super cocky. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna win." And then I didn't really like that. I mean, it's kind of standard, you know, but I didn't really like that. And he ended up playing kind of garbage, and I lost sadly. And then for the third place match, I played against Fatsy, who I had lost to so many times, and I lost in a close 2-1. So even though it sucks, you know, you take fourth and stuff, I still made a bit of money, and I could see that I was gonna be able to do better than this eventually. And I got 2K, which back then, you know, if you're like an 18-year-old kid or something, or around that, it's a pretty big deal. You definitely look forward to the future and know that you're gonna be able to do better next time. So 2004, the same qualifier as earlier for ESWC. So I had to go again to a regional qualifier, qualify for the regional. And then the French qualifier, I went to, I think this one may have been in Paris, but I'm not sure. And I lost to Fatsy again. And Deco took third, so all human dominance in France. Human was really good, I think, in this era. By this time, I believe Ancient of Wars had been nerfed, and yeah, Human was doing really well in the scene, I guess you could say. I don't even know what that is. WC3 Masters. Oh, it was an online tournament. I have no memory of this, but I beat Delicato, then I lost to Human. Yeah, so back then, the best humans in Europe were Human, Insomnia, Fatsy. I was like fourth, maybe fifth, but I was usually never better than these guys. But I wanted to be. The finals. I have no recollection of this, but I beat Heather. I lost to Taker? What the fuck? I thought I never lost to Taker in a tournament in my life. Okay, I didn't know that had happened. And by this time, Grubby was playing Orc and winning, apparently. Okay, well, I got absolutely no recollection of that. Thank God, actually. So then it leads into ESWT 2004. And let's go into group stage 1 first. I don't know if it's working, but yeah, it might not be available. Oh shit, it was opening, no? Dude, what are these groups? Gigantic groups. 6-0, I was in a group with Giacomo, Wizard. Damn, Wizard actually busted early. Yeah, a lot of the favorites advance. It's kind of crazy that only 2 players advance per group. You see Kai here from Four Kings didn't advance. Skyward and Pato both were pretty good, but Xiaoti and Insomnia were absolute beasts. And Envious was actually also quite okay. Good human player from Finland. Who the hell was Ding Dong? What the? I don't remember that name. And then in the second group stage. Okay, so first, I need to give some context. This is 1.14 patch, which was the patch in which if you absorb mana with destroyers, basically mana wouldn't really go down. So you had a lot of mana to work with. I don't remember exactly how it worked, but I just remember destroyers were completely broken and undead was dominating everything at this time. It's funny, yeah, I was like, I don't have a very good memory, but I remember this patch, 1.14. So that's why you see a lot of pink in the bracket here. It was kind of weird. Like I beat Sweet in the group, but then there was talks about like, because if you look at the first place finishers, there was talk that maybe, you know, he wasn't trying as hard or something, because getting first place would have meant that he would get like Ghost Up or He-Man or Fatsi. Yeah, but we got some wins in the group here against Dominator, Ding Dong, and Sweet. But then I met my nemesis of ESWC in Matt Frog in the quarterfinals, and I lost yet again. So 2 years in a row I lost to Matt Frog, and he was kind of becoming my nemesis and somebody that I really wanted to beat at the time after that. I remember I was pretty depressed after this loss, because this was like the big tournament of the year, basically, that you really wanted to do well in. And Fof did very well against Matt Frog in the finals and was able to win. And I was playing on Arma team back then. You can see here the teams. Fatsi was on SK. Deadman was on Arma team, actually. I wish I had photos from this event, but I only have photos from the period after that, I think. Another online tournament. This time I was able to win, actually. Oh, look at this. It's Soul Glider. So weird to see some of these names that I didn't even know I like remembered. Vancor was there. Yeah, this is just online. I beat this guy that I can't pronounce. I beat Select, who went on to become a two-time champion in Dawn of Warhammer in WCG. He was a very good Night Elf. And also he was very good in StarCraft. One of the best Terrans early on in Wings of Liberty, I think. And yeah, I beat He-Man. Wait, was that a death win? No, maybe they didn't know. But yeah, I beat He-Man in this. Usually didn't happen very often, but apparently it did here. So I think I was starting to get better and better, but I was still, in my opinion, at this time behind Fatsi, Insomnia, and He-Man in Europe in terms of human. So then ENC 2004 comes around. Sweden survive on Mad Frog, Lon, and He-Man, basically the overwhelming favorites. France, Todd, Shaw, Fatsi, and Tox, pretty good team. Korika, He-Man. Then there's a Danish He-Man. Insomnia, Jack, Xerax, 420, Tagor, Storm, Tech, Kukian, Grubby, Myth, Zerter, Serial. Wait, how do you see the matches? Oh, it's not there. Yeah, I think we did well, and then when we played against Sweden, I think maybe I met Fury, if my memory serves me, and I won, but we lost most of the matches because, I mean, this lineup is kind of like... It's kind of... Actually, I don't know why Fury is not listed. I'm pretty sure I played him, but I'm not sure. But yeah, Mad Frog and He-Man basically couldn't really lose to anyone. They were two of the absolute best by far. And yeah, Sweden won. I mean, this lineup, yeah, is nuts, really. That was offline, I think, in Cologne. And maybe even combined with something else, but I'm not sure. It's not written. I think it might have been a standalone. I remember that there was one of those events that we went to by car, but probably not this one. DLGamer WGTour. So that looks like an online tournament where I beat Creolofus, I beat Mad Frog, I beat DD8, and then I lost to Zeus. I have zero recollection of those games. And I doubt I went Demon Hunter. It's funny, there's a lot of mistakes on the WarCraft III Wikipedia. It's kind of heartless. Only the first place gets paid. Oh, there is not the qualifiers. So around this time was when Four Kings was basically, they were building a team to go to Korea. And they had a Korean player, Fov, and they had 3 European players that were going, Grubby, Fury, and Zeus. So Netherlands, Sweden, and Croatia. Orc, Undead, and Night Elf. They needed a human. And I think they wanted a European human. So who are the best 3 European human? Insomnia, Fatsi, and He-Man. The thing is, He-Man had already been to Korea. I don't think he was interested in going anymore. Fatsy never really considered going, and Insomnia was on SK, and I don't think he really wanted to go either. He had also already been. He won the WCG actually previously. So I talked to them, and I was like, I'm not the best human player right now, but I'm very motivated, and in the future, I believe I can be the best human player. So give me my chance and stuff. And then I guess they did end up giving me my chance, and I was gonna go to Korea at a young age and play there in 2 televised leagues. But just before flying to Korea, actually I went later than them. They went before me because I had my WCG qualifier, which was very important. So I played in the WCG qualifier, and it's not there sadly. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and find it manually, but it's probably not there. Qualifier tournaments. What the hell is? Yeah, it's not there. But yeah, basically I played the qualifier for WCG and I won against Fatsy. On the day I was gonna fly to Korea to play with Four Kings and practice in Korea. So I finally defeated Fatsy, and it was like me, Fatsy, and Chobo, I think, that qualified for WCG. So then I flew to Korea, and then me and all the other guys, every day we were going to internet cafes and practicing a lot of hours. And yeah, just playing a shitload of games. I remember that a couple days before flying to San Francisco for WCG from Korea, Zakard came to visit us, and he wanted to practice with Grubby. And back then, I think Zakard and Grubby were by far the 2 best orcs in the world, and I thought that Zakard was the best personally. And it was where Moons was starting to make a lot of noise. Everybody was talking about Moon, about maybe being the best player, being the most creative, being like an insane player to play against or like to see in action. And what happened was that Zakard visited us at the internet cafe we were playing in, which was in Incheon, not Seoul, so he had like to do a bit of road. And they were taking turns playing against Moon one by one, and I followed the games, and I was like, okay, this guy Moon is absolutely insane. He's playing a different build every single game. He's driving these guys crazy. They're talking to each other, trying to figure out how to beat him. I remember thinking, why is he practicing with them? He just feels like he would clown on most people in a tournament. So like he's literally helping people if he plays against them a lot. But I guess he wanted to practice. So then we head to the tournament, and in my mind, Moon is not going to lose to anybody. And then my second favorite will be Zakard, then probably Grubby, and then maybe me. So we get to the tournament. The group stage are not listed, but we can head into the brackets. Grubby kind of crushes through everybody, and then he has a bit of a harder time in the semifinals against short rounds. Freedom, there was a lot of hype behind Freedom back then. Fatsy kind of shut him in his tracks. And Short Round, who I don't think had practiced a ton for this tournament, was one of my good friends actually already back then, because I had met him at CyberX Games, which I think I did before that. Wait. Oh, I clicked this already. Okay, I'll check after. I don't know if I think CyberX Games was. We might have to go backwards after. Yeah, sadly, not every tournament are listed. But yeah, I was good friend with Short Round basically, and then when I got to this tournament, I kind of told him what the Night Elf meta was in Korea, what I was having a hard time with, which was Firelord with Lava Spawn and Incinerate, which back then was really OP. And he did quite a bit of that. Look. The 2 games he won was Firelord against Etched. Insomnia, 2 games Firelord, 1 with Warden on Lost Temple. It's funny, there's actually some of the VODs. Then he met Fatsy, 2 wins with Firelord. I guess my advice paid off. And then, yeah, he lost to Grubby eventually. And I don't know why, but these 2 met early in the brackets, which is insane, because in my mind, they were going to be in the finals. And Zakard somehow pulled a win with... There was one of the maps where he tower rushed. It might have been Twisted Meadows. But yeah, basically all of his practice with Moon taught him that he couldn't let Moon start expanding and do whatever he wanted. So he just kind of towered him and somehow got a massive upsetting win. I think like I think if Zakar doesn't stop Moon here, I don't know who does. Maybe Grubby in the finals, but I don't think I would have. Most likely not. So yeah, I met Zakar in the semi. We can go through my roads. I met Carefly, don't remember. Crimson, don't really remember. He was a good human player from Romania. I met Hot. I don't remember those games, but I remember it was kind of hard, and he was like one of the rising players and already kind of good. Hey, thank you, Phalo, for the raids. Much love, my dude. And then I met the big boss, and I got absolutely freaking destroyed. It was insane. Lost Temple. If you think I'm unlucky with the rings, look at these starting positions. Of course, he gets the close position. And then just kind of rushed me, did a shitload of damage, and then I died. Yeah, Archmage level 2 has fallen. Looks pretty bad. Demolisher, what the hell? Yeah. And then I met Short Round for the 3rd place match. And that's where the Firelord gimmicks ended. I knew how to play really well against Elf at this time. I was playing a lot with very strong Korean players. So I was able to get the solid win and took a big 3rd place match. And Grubby was able to defeat Zakard in the finals, which I really didn't think was going to happen. In my mind, Zakard and Moon were the big favorites for this tournament, but Grubby showed that maybe they were not. Maybe he was the best player in the world, and he defeated Zakard after some pretty crazy Orc mirror. I don't really remember the game. I just remember kind of like some short memories of Norwood, basically. Yeah. So this was... Damn, I'm going to have to go back every time. This was late in 2004, looks like. Let me see if CyberX Games is in there. Okay, so there is a page, but it's not super detailed. So this was early in 2004. I was playing for SK Gaming back then, and I went to Las Vegas. My first trip abroad, I went to Las Vegas. So that was before the WCG. And I remember I got to Las Vegas, and I was like, I didn't speak a word of English. I somehow got into a cab. I was like, I remember the name of the hotel. That hotel doesn't even exist anymore. It was called the Klondike, something like that. KLONDIQUE or something like that. It was on the Strip, at least. But it wasn't one of the big hotel and casinos. Like the Stardust Casino existed back then. So yeah, I went there. And I remember there was some shenanigans. Like our room wasn't paid for or something yet. So we had to figure that out. I remember I went to get the cafeteria to get some food. And I was like, can I get an iced tea, please? You know, if I ask for an iced tea, I'm expecting something sugary. They brought it to me. American iced tea, unsweetened, tasted sour as hell. I was like, what the shit is this? But yeah, I basically didn't speak almost any English. It was a real struggle. And this is the trip that motivated me to try and learn a lot more English, basically. After this, I was like, I never want to experience that again, like travel and not be able to really talk with anyone. So I put a lot of effort into trying to learn English. I remember we went to McDonald's on the Strip, and there was free refills which for a French is like, I didn't even believe that was possible. In France, we never had free refills. And then now Short Round kept telling us, yeah, get some more Coke, you know, like fill up your cup, get some ice, and then let's get out of here. So yeah, I remember thinking, okay, this is a crazy country, like free refills. How do they even make money, you know? So that was kind of amazing for me. And in the tournaments, I think I went semi-far. Maybe I lost just before this. And I lost to 2 teammates for a change. I had a very bad mindset against teammates at this time. I would always lose to my teammates in tournament. And I lost to Insomnia and to Seaweed. Both of whom went kind of at the start of the... Actually, Insomnia went almost all the way. He took a 3rd place. And Seaweed went all the way there. Very good Night Elf Seaweed. Who was a bit of a trash talker online, actually. So yeah, I was playing for SK at this tournament. But I was hanging out with a lot with Short Round or with the AT guys. And also with Nightmare from Sweden, if you guys know him. I had a bit of a bromance with Nightmare. Even though I couldn't speak much English, I was talking to him a bunch, and he was a really cool guy. Damn, Dedicato went far here. Okay. So that clarifies the CyberX games. I don't remember this. I think these were like kind of the Go For tournaments. But I met Zachard in the finals, and yeah, I mean, Zachard. I don't think I've ever beat Zachard in a tournament. So then the OnGameNet, like the some of the leagues in Korea were like kicking off. I think in the OnGameNet one I qualified for round 2, but in the MDC game one I didn't, barely not. But in this one I did well in the groups. So all 4 Kings players were in this tournament. And I beat Czech. I think, okay, I remember that game, Maelstrom. I think I played pretty solid. I expanded, I went into castle, I made some knights. And it was just kind of straightforward. Against Zeus, I think it was Twisted Meadows. Before that match, I played maybe 50 games with Moon on Twisted Meadows. And at first, I was losing 10 games out of 10. And then at the end, I was starting to win more and more. And even though it was a really hard map, and like against normal Demon Bears, it was really tough. I was playing with Mount Tanking seconds, using Invis, and doing better than most humans. So yeah, after playing 50 games with Moon, when you play against Zeus, like no offense, it didn't feel like the same level. And by the way, it was best of 1 random map, which is fucking stupid. So yeah, in this case, Maelstrom against Czech, Twisted Meadows against Zeus, and then Rain, Lost Temple, best of 1. And I remember actually, if this is the correct game that I remember, I think that I fell quite a bit behind. Wait, in group stage 2. Oh, I played him again. So I'm actually not sure which one it was, but I remember that there was one of these games against Rain where it was Lost Temple, and then he killed my MK. He was pushing in my base. But I had restarted my MK, and then as the MK came out of the altar, I was playing rifles, and he had quite a few A-bombs. As the MK came out of the altar, the DK was low HP. He tried to run away. I chased him. I threw the bolt from really far, and then I killed his DK, and then that was pretty much game. So it was one of these 2. I don't know which one. I don't remember the other game against Rain. So yeah, I took first place in that, so I advanced. Grubby advanced as well with Moon. And Fov and Freedom in that last group. Even Star was the previous champ, and Swain was really good. There was only good players in this tournament. Group stage 2. Grubby was, I think, it was like after we were in Korea 3 months, and Christmas was coming up, and all of the 4 Kings guys, they were homesick. So they all wanted to go home. So Zeus, Fury, and Grubby went home, and then it was only me and Fov in Korea. Chilling, getting food, and practicing. So he went home, got replaced by Sweet. And yeah, in the group stage 2, apparently I did pretty garbage. I lost to Freedom. I think I got like a really bad map, sadly. Lost to Sweet, don't remember that map. I won against Fov. Might have been Lost Temple. I lost to Moon. I don't remember, maybe Maelstrom. And then I lost to Rain. Yeah, so the game that I was talking about, the Lost Temple one, was against Rain in group stage. But yeah, I remember that back then my conditioning was really bad. I didn't have enough sleep. Even though I practiced like crazy, I did everything else wrong. My mental was still not that great, and that played a part in those results, I think. So then there was the Samsung European Championship, which was in Germany, I believe. Maybe the page can tell us more. 3-day section tournament. Yeah, in Hanover, so that's what, CBIT, right? And Caravaggio is a very good Russian human. I beat him first, then I beat Hot. I had a pretty crazy record against Hot. I think I barely ever lost. Then I lost to Grubby in the semifinal winner brackets. And then I beat Caravaggio again, Hot again, Zeus. And then I lost to Grubby in the finals. I remember some of these games as being really weird. I think there was a game where like he went Torrents, and then I tried to go like Sorceress with Polymorph, but it just kind of got dispelled. And I remember there was big crowds for this tournament. This may be... I'm not sure if this is from this specific... This is a Samsung European Championship. You can see it. This is 2006. Wait, where were we? Oh, this is 2005, the one I was looking at the bracket, but whatever. You can get the picture. Do you see this? It's like a sea of people. lots of seats everywhere filled up. It was only when we had just started playing for the first time with flat screens, by the way. It was like a novelty back then. But yeah, a lot of people watching. And yeah, lost to Grubby in the finals. But we had a big forking success with 1, 2, and 3. So then season 1 of WDG. Okay, this one was talked about a lot. I got Matt Frog in my group, Magic Yang and Moon. Matt Frog was, up to this point, still kind of like my nemesis, so I really wanted to beat him. But I think he had started to lose a little bit motivation for the game back then. And I drew him on Turtle Rock. That VOD is actually available on YouTube, I think. And yeah, I was able to win that game on Turtle Rock against Matt Frog, and sadly, I didn't do well in the other games. Against Magic Yang, it was Maelstrom, and I think he played something like Firelord, or I don't remember exactly, but I think I played kind of poorly and lost. And I remember that as I lost to Magic Yang, I'm coming off stage. I've told that story before on stream. I'm coming off stage, and then I see He-Man with the biggest smile, because He-Man was a big troll. And he looks at me. I'm obviously super depressed. Like, WarCraft III is my life. Like, winning is life or death. And I just lost, so I just feel like death right there. He-Man looks at me with a big smile, and he goes, Magic Yang? In retrospect, it makes me laugh, but I remember that at the moment, I was like, don't even talk to me. Like, yeah. And then, last match of the group, I practiced for like more than a week. I think maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks for this match against Moon on Twisted Meadows. And I lost like 80% of my practice because this map was fucking stupid and still is. So then I showed up for the match. I was really not very confident at all. And pretty rustled. It's best of 1 and random map. And I remember before you have to play, you just go to the studio and like you're chilling there for some time. You're getting makeup. There's the broadcast people. I remember one of the bosses of the tournament, which was also a caster, asked me, so, Moon, you're playing against Moon. Are you confident? And I was like, oh yeah, easy. With clear sarcasm. Except a lot of people don't really understand sarcasm. So this guy thought I was serious. So he went on the broadcast and said that I said I was going to win easy. He really didn't get it. But yeah, as you guys know, that game didn't go very well for me. And we saw many human heroes featured in that map specifically. Yeah, this season of WG was really crazy, actually. We were like in a mountain. Let me see. We're in this place called Namyongju. I don't know if it's... Yeah, it might be this. So it's not quite Seoul. It's not quite Incheon, where the airport is. Incheon is here. Like the airport. Seoul is here. We were here in the fucking mountains. Like on some sort of weird... I don't know, I wouldn't call it farm-like, but it was like a place where there's like a bunch of small houses. Maybe like a resort for vacation. And there's nothing around. There is no 7-Eleven. There is no pizza place. Nothing. No supermarket. No stores. You cannot really go out. And if we wanted to go out, we would have to call a taxi. It would cost, I don't know how much, like, I don't want to imagine. A lot of money to go anywhere. And we were kind of stuck in the mountains. And then when we told them we want to go out or like do something, they were like, no, it's not safe. Which in retrospect is crazy. It's almost like kidnapping, you know? Like you can't put people in a place like this and like have nothing to do. I remember the food was kind of bad. There was like a cafeteria. And it was just like Korean food all the time, which not of the highest quality. So people were like really homesick and fed up. And they started doing 1 day a week, we would order pizza. And that was, I don't even like pizza that much, but that was the best day ever for everybody. We were like going crazy on that day when we finally got some pizza, I can tell you that. So yeah, that was kind of crazy these days. But yeah, sadly I dropped in the group stage and didn't do well. That was kind of depressing, but I got to hang out with Sky, who was the best human in the world, in my opinion, at the time. He was already starting to play extremely well. And yeah, lots of good times were had. I was hanging out. I was rooming. So like every house had, you know, multiple bedrooms and whatever, and a lot of computers, like in each room. And in my room, I was bunking with Deadman and Short Round. And then Short Round got asked to like be transferred to another one or something because it was kind of crowded in ours. So he went to with the GamerCo guys from USA because they were all Americans. So yeah, but in our computer room, it was me, Deadman, and Short Round. And I think there was quite a bit of arguing going on between Short Round and Deadman. And one day we were playing Dota. I've already told that story during Tunnel, but I'll tell it again. I always get asked about it. One day we were playing Dota, like, because the Counter-Strike guys, they were always really cocky. They wanted to play Dota. And they started getting into an argument. And then Short Round was like, no, this, like, it happened like this. Then Deadman is like, no, it didn't happen like this. Watch the replay. And then Short Round was like, no, I don't need to watch the replay. And Deadman was like, watch the replay. And then it escalated, and then Short Round kind of shouted. He was like, no, I don't need to watch the replay, you bitch, or whatever. And then he left, and he kind of went to bed in his other house. And I think Deadman, back then he was probably like 16 years old. And he was like really tilted. He wasn't really used of confrontation, I think. And then he just took it like very personally or something. And I think he wanted to fight Short Round, which is a pretty bad idea. And he went outside. He went to knock on Short Round's window, and he was like, come outside, I need to talk to you. And then Short Round was like, fuck off, I'm sleeping. In typical Short Round fashion. Short Round, I really like this guy. Like, I think he's got a great personality. Definitely no nonsense. But yeah, Deadman was pretty tilted. So then he came back to the room, and he asked me to step outside. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I went outside, and then he just kind of like punched me. I don't even know. I mean, it wasn't, obviously gamers don't have the best form. So I was kind of shocked. And after 2 or 3 seconds thinking about it, I kind of chased him around for a bit and then pinned him on the ground. And nothing much, honestly, like no beat down or nothing like that, like no crazy punch. But in that moment when I was standing over him and holding him on the ground, the admins of the tournament showed up, and I was like, okay, I'm disqualified. Like, I already knew, like, you can't fight at the tournament, you get disqualified for sure. But this guy punched me first, or like slapped me. And as they showed up, I was like, sure, I was gonna get DQ'd, especially because like he stood up and then he started like he spat blood or something. I was like, oh my god, this is so bad. So anyway, they split us up, and then I talked to them, and they were like, yeah, we know that's, you know, he's a little bit on the wilder side and stuff, so we know that like you didn't really do nothing wrong. There was also a couple witnesses, and I didn't end up getting into any trouble, luckily for me. And after that, I think he was fine with Deadman. Like, we didn't really like each other, but also I was kind of indifferent, and we just went on living our lives, and it was fine. But yeah, he didn't deal very well, I guess. Like, I can't imagine, to be honest, like 16 years old, you go to a completely different country, you have no parent, no family around, you don't necessarily speak the most English, and then you're just isolated with a bunch of people that you end up arguing with. So it was not easy for sure for like anybody, especially for somebody this young, I think. Yeah, but in the tournaments, Zakar ended up beating Sky in semi, Moon beat Magic Yang in the other semi, which is a giant upset, by the way, that Magic Yang was in the semi, but he was playing really good back then. Moon beat Zakar in the finals, and Sky beat Magic Yang for 3rd place. So there was kind of like the rise of Sky was really beginning here, I think. And I think Grubby declined to play in this one because he didn't really want to go to Korea for that long period, because that was a long tournament. That was like a month maybe or something. What do we have next? I don't know that we have to go through like all the small online cups, especially if they take forever to load. What the hell? Yeah, we'll skip this one. WC3L. I had been to WC3Ls in the previous year, but they're not listed here. I had been to a bunch as Arma team, and I really liked the team spirit and also the team leagues. I think the team leagues are like super important, and they were really fun to follow and play as well. And this is like the first one that's listed for me. Is season 7 apparently. I don't know if there's going to be 4 results. No, there isn't. Wait, there is a VOD? Okay, well, good luck making out those names. What the? There's not even a scoreboard. What the? Dude, I can't even see who's playing. This is less than 240p. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, Zakard! Grubby! Is that was the leg dog behind? Oh, Zakard played against Grubby. Dude, I can't see anything. 2-on-2. I guess maybe it was me. But that looked like Insomnia. What the hell? Yeah, I can't see much, sadly. But yeah, we beat SK, apparently close match. Then we beat 64 MD. I think that was... Actually, you can see. Elecduck winner, Creel of Sase, Meteor Makers was Ghost of Lucifer, Bjarki, Ciara, and Susiria. SK, Zakard, Insomnia, Hot Mew. Good lineups. And then we had our usual 5, basically. 5 was there as well. So yeah, we beat 64 MD, and then they came back in from the lower bracket, beat SK. And in the grand finals, I beat Elecduck. I remember one of those games. It's so funny how memory works, because I remember almost nothing of this match, but I remember my Lost Temple game against Elecduck. I went Paladin, I believe, second, and a lot of Griffins with armor upgrades. And basically I had like a shitload of armor upgrades plus devotion. We can have a look. Maybe I'll find that game. Wait, who was that? Grubby against Winner. Yeah, Winner was pretty good. It's pretty sick. This is like 2000 and... Wait. Yeah, 2005? Wait, were we already at 2005? Yeah, 2005 production right here. They're checking profiles on the website? Oh my god. Fov. I think that was before he got surgery, maybe, no? Because he got surgery for his chin eventually. Look at this in the background. I was wearing a watch back then, actually. Wait, so who's that? Fov and Creolphus, who would later on become teammates. But yeah, we did very well. Somehow I don't know why I didn't play the 2-on-2 here. I'm gonna try to find my match. Am I third match? Yes, I am. So this is me against Elecduck, Turtle Rock, Lost Temple, Echo. I lost Turtle Rock. Elecduck was pretty good. Why do I have defend? And yeah, back then the meta was Beastmaster second, Loss of Caster. Oh, he was close position. Yeah, in close position, if the Orc went for Turax Demolisher, which was Elecduck's specialty, it was sometimes hard to in those games. But yeah, looks like those Demolishers did a number on me. Look at his smile. Teabag. I want to see my face. Oh, that's Ciara in the back. Wait, oh, there I am. I'm like, I hate it. Oh, Zakard! Look at he looks like a superstar. Oh my god. So sick. Yo, Suray, thank you for the resub, dudes. Much love, welcome back. And then Lost Temple. Let's see if I was right about the Griffin game. I hope I was right. Yeah, Griffin. He has so many grunts. It looks so silly. Damn, I made so many towers. What the? I have like 3 gold in the main. He's trying to expo elsewhere. No fortified on tier 2, guys. The good old days indeed, Deathcow. You could actually fly in and kill burrows with griffins. I think I even bought Protection Scroll. Dude, he killed nothing. It was such a stupid strategy. I end up killing some griffins, but even if I get like 3 or 4 left over, like, you cannot survive. Look at his acne face right here. Sick. I don't even like. This is a terrible headset, by the way, with the mic and everything. I think gear back then was just really bad. Yeah, Elecdoc was not someone who took very well to losing, so. Look at it. Wait, is that Zakar? Yeah, Zakar Susiria Fov.
Mit vielen, vielen Punkten sehen wir hier Todd. Hast du den Grubby gesehen? Der Grubby gerade so super.
Da freut er sich.
Ja.
Look at Zakar. Zakar is one of the greatest people that I think I've met. Who is that in the back? I can't even see. And then Echo Isle, I don't remember that game in the slightest. Oh, he was going Shockwave. Oh, I went air again. Dude, my tower placement was really bad. Did you also have Apis plastic keyboards? Well, I'm pretty sure mechanical keyboards and really good keyboards of today didn't exist back then, so unless somebody time traveled and brought me one.
Elecdoc 4K macht es. 4K ist der neue Meister in der WarCraft 3 Champions League Season 7 und so richtig freuen sich seine Freunde jetzt nicht mehr mit ihm, mit 4K. Todd, sie grinsen nur. Todd verzieht immer noch keine Miene. Weiß er eigentlich, was er gerade gemacht hat?
Ja, da gehe ich davon aus.
Gehe ich auch davon aus. Ja, das Spiel ist vorbei. 3:0 steht es für Team 4 Kings und sie haben damit im Skip-Geben von den Spielern so ein paar Autogramme vor diesen Finals. Die dürfen sie auf jeden Fall abgreifen, denn es sind viele, viele der Top-Spieler hier. Kleine Pause nochmal, dann gucken wir, wie wir weitermachen in den Tours und dann schauen wir, wie die Siegerehrung aussieht. Bis gleich. Wir sind wieder da mit dem nächsten Tour and Two. Das läuft bereits. Wir schauen mal kurz rüber, wie es da steht. Wir haben es schon mal anfangen lassen. Ihr habt ein bisschen was schon verpasst hier im Spiel, beziehungsweise wir haben ein bisschen was verpasst.
Okay. Oh, sorry, yeah. Oh, I don't know why, but I'm using speakers right now. And for me, the sound was not coming out. Okay, I'm gonna put my earphone so we can hear a little bit together.
Das spielt Winner gemeinsam. Du bist?
Sascha Geifel.
Sascha. Well,
The lift is going.
and they're going on the main base on Fury and
Okay. Okay, yeah, so Four Kings first, I don't know if that was actually Four Kings first WC3L, but that was the first one with me that we won. $1,500, which is pretty pathetic to share with 5 players, but whatever, it's like the heydays of esports. That was it? No. Which WC3L was that? This one, yeah, this one. So after that, WG Season 2. For this one, we stayed in Seoul. And I remember the name of the hotel, so I can show you. Human Touchville. So this time we're staying in Seoul in a pretty hot area called Yeoksam. It's like very central. In this hotel, which was like a hotel with very small rooms that have like a kitchen, like this. And I think we were rooming 2 per room. What the? That's a no, never mind. That's not a WG picture. That's like the standard. But yeah, everybody had a PC and TV, and monitor in their room. And that was a fun tournament as well to practice for. I remember us playing some Dota. Me and Didi and Insomnia had some bed games with some Counter-Strike team at some point. We were taking this dead serious. But yeah, that was fun tournament. But I played kind of garbage as always. I lost to Elecdoc, I lost to Ghost Top, and I beat Magic Yang. So I didn't advance. I don't know why, but in WG, I almost always played bad at this time. But then again, it's only Season 2. And the tournament was won by Moon for a change. Wait, what? Winner took 3rd? I didn't remember that. Yeah, let's keep going. CPL 2005. So, there was a tournament in Dallas, 2005, and only 3 Europeans went. Me, Didi, and Elecdoc, and we took top 3. So Europe Master Race. This tournament was kind of crazy, actually. Like, this doesn't do it justice. There was so many players. there was maybe like 40 or 50 players, and the USA had a lot of very good players. Like these are some of them, but there were way more than that. There was like Quasi, there was the entire U5 team. Like Incinerator actually took 6, but they had other guys from that team. There was really, really a lot of good players at this. It was pretty sick. Sadly, I don't think I really have much photos from this one. Oh, wait. I don't know if this is the right one. I have a photo here, but I think it might be more from... Wait, Taker wasn't at this tournament, was he? Because I got a photo here, which I think might be BlizzCon, but... Let me have a look real quick. Yeah, it's very hard to find old photos. I think I had a photo of like a podium from this tournament at some point, but then I couldn't find it again. Yeah, I cannot find. Yeah, sadly I cannot find it. I had a photo with an old check that I got. Fun facts, I never got paid for this tournament. $6,000, my first big international win, never got paid for it. But yeah, that was pretty fun winning this. I remember some of the games. I don't remember exactly the games against ELGamer, but I remember that in finals against DD8, I knew he was going to go Bears, and then I think there was a game I tried to go Mass Rifles on Lost Temple before he could get 2 Bears, then he got 2 Bears, and I just kind of died. But yeah, I remember DD was really mad after he lost to me, actually. And ELGamer, I think it was maybe ELGamer against Suboshi, he accidentally bought a Pit Lord instead of... I don't even know what he wanted to get from the tavern. But he bought a Pit Lords, and then he wrote in the chat in all caps, "What trickery is this?" Yeah, and he ended up winning that game anyway. It was nuts. But I had a great time in Dallas. I think it's probably not going to speak to you guys unless you're from the States. But I remember I went to Golden Corral, and I fucking love that place. It's like a buffet place where mostly old people go. I learned on later, but I loved that there was so much different stuff. There was like desserts, whatever, mashed potatoes, whatever you want, you had it there. So for me, a buffet, an all-you-can-eat buffet, that was pretty awesome. And I was all, like, I thought Golden Corral was the best place in the world. I remember I bought a PSP as well, which had just came out at this time. And I was already splashing my tournament cash, which I didn't even have because I didn't even get paid for this fucking tournament. What the hell? Some bullshit. Actually, I can show you guys the hotel that we stay at for these tournaments. It was called Gaylord Texan Resort. It's pretty sick. Oh my god, 185 for a fucking night. Wait, what? They got this now? Look, this is the interior. And they got like some sort of like, I think they had some animals down there. I don't want to say they were alligators, but maybe they were. I don't think so. People would be dumb and jump anyway. But that's a sick place. And the tournament was in the convention center of this, so you didn't even have to go far. I don't remember what animals there were here in this area, but there were some animals in like some underground place that you could look at. But apparently they turned it into more of an aquatic park. I should just Google that later for science. Gaylord Texan Resort alligator. Imagine they used to have them and now they don't have them anymore. Damn. I wish my memory was better, but I guess you can't remember everything you've experienced in life. But yeah, that was a fun time, like great time hanging out with the Americans. I remember there was... I can show you a photo that's from a BlizzCon, but some of these guys were there. This is something I wrote, just like funny. Actually, that might be from these tournaments, now that I think of it. But I didn't remember that Taker was there. So that was Wizard. I think we nicknamed him Circus because of his pants. He had the Tetris pants all the time. That was Shock, also known as Joe, which for some reason, I remember I made fun of him a lot when we went out to we went out to a mall and we went to the food court to get food. And he ordered nachos. And for a French person, for somebody to order a meal which consists of chips was the most ridiculous thing ever. So I kept saying, how is this your meal? How are you only eating chips? And then I nicknamed him Chips. So every time I would meet him, I would just call him Chips because of this. And he was a pretty good sport about it. But yeah, later on, I discovered that nachos were the shits. And I was basically a complete idiot. And I had no idea about Mexican food, which is a cardinal sin, if you ask me. But yeah, that's Short Round. Short Round lost to Suboshi at CPL. So I nicknamed him Mouse Anti-Subo. Beer Pong. Oh, okay, so Elec Duck. I'm so sad these photos are not around, but Elec Duck, after the tournament, got completely smashed, played beer pong, and then he passed out in the grass at the house party that we were at. And there was a shitload of photos going around on the internet. So I nicknamed him Beer Pong. Soldier. Zeus always called Diddy Soldier because he looked like a big, tough guy. Yeah. The thing about that tournament, though, is that it was happening the same weekend as ESWC was happening in France, the one that Grubby won in the finals. So it was largely eclipsed and not that many people talked about it because of that. But it was a pretty dope tournament. And that's why also there were not many European players because they were all at ESWC. ENC 2005, so that's like Nation Wars basically. Matrog Electric says Yved, Todd Fassi Shobo Wolf. Take Mio Kukian Spell Hazuops, Roller Bjarki, Sierra Ralph. Honestly, I don't. Wait, what? Where is Sweden? Oh, it's relegation. Wait, I don't understand. Then Sweden and Germany played in the finals, or like what happens? This is weird. Maybe try and find out more. You missed the SWC in France? Yes, because I think I was living in Asia at the time. Oh, we got some scores here. I won against Elec Duck. Wolf won against Sase, and then we lost the other 3 matches. I don't remember if it was this one, but I think one of the ENCs we drove to from France. And it was usually in Hanover, right? Or Leipzig, yeah, same thing. In Germany, basically. And yeah, I don't know if it was this one, but I remember there was one where we were staying in like some sort of like village in the woods. And then I remember one night we brought back McDonald's, and instead of throwing the garbage away, we left it at the edge, at the entrance of our room. And then one night we left the night on and a door open. And then when we came back to our room, there was 1 million insects inside. So we had to sleep inside of the car. We had like a big car that we drove to from France. It was a fucking terrible night. And one of my worst memories maybe from the tournament. Really awful. But yeah, I don't remember this game, sadly. Clanbase Eurocup. Oh, I remember that one. Apparently, this is the first tournament that I met Rotterdam at in real life. I had never met him before, but I don't even remember that specifically. But I remember that at this tournament, I was playing pretty well. I went against Insomnia, I went against Grubby, I went against Winner in the winner bracket finals. And then I started talking to Grubby because like it was in Amsterdam where Grubby lived like not too far. And then me and Fury were there. So we were sleeping at Grubby's house where like I think his mom was living also. I remember I started talking to Grubby a bunch about how we were going to celebrate that night. Like Carmack he brought us a bottle of vodka from Poland or something. And then I was talking about how, oh yeah, we're going to celebrate, blah, blah, blah. And then I played the winner bracket, or like I played the grand finals and I lost to Hot in 2 series, which I really didn't expect. Like he was playing really, really good Demon Hunter Naga Bear with staff, which back then, we're in 2005. So if you're very good with Staff of Preservation, you're basically Jesus at this time. So yeah, I lost with Hot in the finals, and then Grubby, after that, kept asking me, so what are we going to do? Are we going to celebrate tonight? What do we do? And he kept egging me on like this, and I was like in no mood because I had lost the finals. But it was good trolling, to be fair, for sure, because before that, I kept talking about how we were gonna celebrate because I thought I was gonna win and I was doing well, but yeah. It turns out we didn't even celebrate at all. We just went back and I think I took one sip of that vodka of Carmack, which I didn't even cut with anything. And it tasted fucking awful because I didn't cut it. And then I was like, all right, that's it for me. And yeah, that was it, indeed. It's so funny, the random stories like this that you remember from tournaments. I would have expected I'd have some... Okay, remind me in the chat if I don't show them, but I need to start showing more photos. I definitely... Let me check. I definitely need to show more photos, I think. Yeah, so we were talking about the Samsung Euro Championship earlier. This is one of the photos from it. It was very common for a lot of people to group up behind and watch the games. Look at this shitty poster. I'm like all hunched and everything. This is terrible. So this was one of the Samsung Euro Championship. So was this. Fun fact, I think this is a Tommy Hilfiger knockoff that I bought in China, this sweater. Which I don't have anymore, thank God. And which I thought was cool back then. And I look at it now and I'm like, you look like a disco lemon. This is terrible. Yeah, I can't really find much more from this. I think maybe this one was from the tournament that happened in China. This is a great picture. Look at his shirt. My fashion wasn't always the worst. This is Fov. If you guys don't know, this is Grubby with a pink shirt. And this is photo. I showed it earlier, one of the Samsung Europe Championship where I took second. I think I took second every single time in the tournament, basically. That was I was skinny, good hair. These shirts were sick with the French flag and with it's like a sticker. Really like that. And I'm trying to pay attention to photos so I can remember to show some of them a little better because it gives context for sure. Where were we? BlizzCon 2005. I met Matt Frog, which, I mean, at this time, as much as he started out as one of my nemesis, I think at this time I was winning more against Matt Frog, so I won. Met Zakard in semi. Those games, I think, are on YouTube. That was the meta where Blade Master was starting to be used, and he kept clicking on my hero, and I was so stubborn. To this day, I still suck against Blade Master. I'm so bad at running away. When a Blade Master shows up and click on your Archmage, you need to run away. And back then, I was like, no, I'm not going to run away. I'm going to fight him with my 3-footman and my Archmage. And I kept losing Archmage over and over and over again. The game on Terna Stand is actually really good because he goes Wyvern and I go Invis Dragonhawks. And then I end up shackling all of his Wyvern, which back then, we're in 2005. I was basically Jesus again. So yeah, I won one map, then I lost. Beat short run in low brackets, but then lost to Zakard. Oh, there's some VODs. Not from this one though. Weird. Oh, this is the game I was just talking about. Oh, great. This is Bunny, who then went... she was the... I guess she owned WC Replays, which was one of the best sites. Maybe the best site. And then she went on to work for Blizzard and became even head of esports eventually. Look, Blademaster showed up. I was like, fuck you, I'm not running. This is the Alternas with like the small camp. You got the lab down there and then you got... Wait, I can go back a bit. So first camp you create... It's funny too, because I was opening Arcane Tower, which against Blade is not even incorrect. But yeah, first camp, lab. The freaking Altias. Dude, wait. Did I have the Infi DLC back then? Look at this. Mantle Claws. Sentry Ward against the Blade Master. Life is good. Remember those creeps on the expo? Damn, the quality of this VOD is really bad. You know what's funny? People back then watched tournaments like this, and they were happy because they could watch games. Nowadays, if you can't even get 720p, you're on tilt. You're at home, you're like... Oh, kill a shot. Wait, what? Host? No, dude, I got like 30 units to surround the shadow. That guy was not going anywhere. Wait, was that it? Was that the Invis Dragonhawk game or not? That's all I'm gonna see. Oh yes, it was. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at how many Dragonhawks. This is ridiculous. You guys should watch this with sound. I don't want to get like copy striked or whatever, or DMCA, so I'm not gonna watch with sound. But if you guys want to take a proper walk down memory lane, oh my god, he just used like 3 Bat Rider on 1 Hawk. Why am I not shackling? Wake the fuck up. Yeah, he's toast. It's actually kind of hard to watch what's what. Dude, he almost held. Yeah, I think he didn't have Expo. It was so hard to win even just a single game against that card. Double Sanctum. Speed Scrolls were already terrorizing me. He was always playing with Wyvern in some capacity. Dude, this game didn't look bad for me. What the hell? How did I lose? What? Oh, he ensnared me to death, looks like. And killed my heroes eventually. Dude, I ran out of gold. Oh my god. That looks like a crazy game. And then Turtle Rock. We didn't get close position. Nice luck, bro. GG what? I don't know. Yeah, and then Grubby won against Zakard again in the finals. Much like WCG. Dude, I won no money for this? What the fuck? This is bullshit. I bubbled the tournaments. And then the one tournament that I win CPL, I don't get paid for. This is some bollocks right there. Where were we? Oh yeah, here. World Cyber Games 2005, Singapore. Right? Yeah. Dude, look at WCG. This is such a crazy... Like, we're never gonna see tournaments like this ever again. And not just because there is COVID, but... Look at this tournament! This is ridiculous! Players from every country. Unreal. Where am I even? I'm here. I don't know any of these guys, so I took first. Dude, there was tiebreakers. There was tiebreakers in 8 different groups. That's so funny. Oh my god. What a shitty format with our best of ones. And then we go into the brackets. I beat Levin, then I beat Soju. I remember that I was really not confident against Soju for some reason. I thought... Back then, I was always whining about Night Elf. I really hated, so I thought they were like sick. But somehow I still beat a lot of them in tournaments. So yeah, I went against Soju, I went against Hot. Damn, I feel like I beat Hot every WCG. It's insane. And then I lost to Sky in the semifinals. So I don't know how, but for some reason we had to play Turtle Rock twice. It was like a really stupid veto system. And I remember that back then, Lightning Shield was really broken. You had 3 charges and it did a lot of damage. So a lot of Europeans, they would make a deal. They would say, we're not going to use Lightning Shield. Or like, do you want to play without Lightning? We had like a gentleman's agreement. And I asked Sky if he wanted to do that, and he was like, no, I'm good. So game 1, he found Lightning Shield, and he killed me in 8 minutes. Game 2, I found Lightning Shield. I killed him in 7 minutes. And so we had only one real game, Twisted Meadows. But I think we both crept Merc Camp first, and he found like a Greater Healing, and I found something else. And then I just got destroyed and complained about Greater Healing and lost. And he went on to the finals. In the other semi, Short Round beat Grubby, even though Short Round wasn't super active at the time. Using Talents. And in the 3rd place match, I lost against Grubby. I don't really remember the games. I just know that on Echo Isle, I kind of tried to expand at some point, and then he just kept sieging and killed me. Wait, I don't remember the other games. I remember that we were out the night before until pretty late, both of us. I think I had almost no sleep, and Grubby was maybe slightly still intoxicated for this. But yeah, I think we were both pretty upset. We lost in the semis, so we went out the night before, which was rare. For most tournaments, I guess you could say. WC3L Season 8. Zakard, Insomnia, Hot, Matt Frog, even Starmie. Okay, well, these guys brought the whole army with them. Grubby Todd Zeus. So this was the... This was in Cologne, which is the city I live in now. Who would have thought? Back then, I never would have thought I would move to that city like 10 years later. Yeah, this was the tournament that Fury cancelled kind of at the last second because he was ill. So we were only 3 players, except the format was 4 solos and 1 2-on-2. So we started every match with 0-1. MYM, they had a lot of Korean players. They really wanted to win. Mouse Sports, Spell Azups, Romeo, Short Round, very good team as well, all around. Sadly, there is no the matches on any of these. Please tell me this is here. Yeah, no, it's not. Is there anywhere where you can actually see exactly the matchups? No, I think it's gone from everywhere. Yeah, so sadly, there is not the exact results and matches, but yeah, we barely won against Mouse Sports. Then we lost to MYM in the upper bracket finals, and then we beat Mouse Sports again, this time more convincingly. And then we had to win 2 matches, and then we did that. I think just me and Grubby, we kept winning our 2-on-2 and then our solos. It didn't matter who we were against. We won our 2-on-2 and our solos every time, and we won this season with only 3 players, which was nuts. I remember we were like so hyped after this happened, like 3 players here. Like, yeah, that was a crazy season, which a lot remember. Like, that's a kind of a legendary season, you know, to win with 3 players like this when you start with 0-1 every match. I mean, very strong teams there, but it didn't stop us. So that's kind of what's part of what made Four Kings a legendary team like it is, I think. And as far as photos go, I don't think I have any. I have an old photo of when I first moved to Korea with Four Kings and the first time we went to COEX, which was a shopping mall in the center of Seoul where there was the 2 TV studios, MBC Game and OnGameNet. This is it right there. Very low quality. But yeah, me, Fury, Zeus, Fov, and Grubby. This is like in the, yeah, I guess it was Christmas season. Look at this. I remember this jacket. Basic fashion. Dude, the cameras were really garbage back then. Holy shit. Yeah, good memories, this. So then we go into 2006. Like, this is really like the golden era for me of like WarCraft 3, where there is like so many tournaments and so many good players and so many players all the time. Star Wars Season 2. South Korea, China, Europe. I went to Shanghai with Grubby, Insomnia, Sase, and Hot. China at Skyso, Xiaoti, Guangmo, G-Star. It's so funny how the Chinese players, so many of them were like changed all the time. Like every year, you had those new guys that were very good. Like I feel like Guangmo and G-Star, they weren't like super good for very long, but they were good and they were the best in China apparently at some points. South Korea, Fov, Zakar, Moon, Sweet, Lucifer. Pretty good team. So we played against South Korea first. And I lost to Fov. I don't really remember these games. But I remember that this was in a stadium where we were in the center of the stadium. Like a big stage, and it was pretty hype. Because there was a lot of people in that stadium. China lost to South Korea. This was the era where South Korea was the best. Eventually, China kind of caught up and maybe even got better for some time. Then we played China. I won against Su on Lost Temple. I won against Guangmo on Echo Isle. And then I met the big boss who all killed us, Sky on Echo Isle. There's actually some... Any of those games. Grubby vs. Shouty. With Grubby's point of view. Wow, this is crazy that there's some of these games online. Especially first person. I didn't even know that it's like that. Look at that chain lightning. It's funny with 2 days meta, if you watch some of these old games, you'd be like, what the hell was going on here? They are playing Turtle Rock? Dude, there's like a random tower. What the? He tower rushed him! Oh my god. That's crazy. Wait, there wasn't any of my games, was there? No, there wasn't. But yeah, fun tournament in Shanghai. I don't really remember much about it. I think maybe I hung out a bunch with Insomnia, and yeah, it was fun. Samsung Euro Championship 2006. I've never won this tournament. I've only ever taken second at every one I've played in, basically. But yeah, beat DD8, lost to Grubby twice, and yeah. Another day at the office. Transatlantic Showdown. I think was that the one in New York? Oh, that was the 2-on-2 tournament. Yeah, I remember. So before this tournament, we were supposed to practice pretty hard with Grubby, and then I think we ended up not playing so much. I think he had like some sort of food poisoning. So sadly, we didn't get to play a lot of games, and also that was the era where Orc Night Elf was the best combo by far, which was almost impossible to counter, because they were playing Blade Master Grunt, I think with Shadowhunter, and the Night Elf was going Demon, Naga, Mass Dryads, but really like Mass Dryads, like 60, 70 supply in like 2 seconds. And it was so hard, like you couldn't do much. It felt like, because they had perfect map control, they could slow you down. They had more lockdown than you did, you know, with potentially Raiders, like Shadowhunter seconds, Naga second, Dryads. You couldn't run around. And the army didn't really fall off. Like in the late game, you would have to get, I don't know, a ton of mortars or whatever to counter. And by the time you got that, you would already be dead. So yeah, we played against the Korean team. We lost 1 and 2. Lucifer played, I'm pretty sure this was Orc Night Elf. I'm pretty sure they played different races. They didn't play Night Elf Undead. Yeah, everybody was playing that back then. So yeah, we played those guys first. We lost 1 and 2. I thought it was 2-0 actually, but oh, there was a tiebreaker? What? And then the American teams played each other. Axlav Striker won against Incinerator Nailknarf. This trip was really, it was like in New York. I remember we went on Times Square and, you know, there's all these people advertising their stuff. Oh yeah, I remember actually when I got there, I wanted to practice because I was all about practice, obviously. And I found an internet cafe in New York, which we're not thinking the same when I say internet cafe, like near Times Square. It was an internet cafe where everything's automated. There is only a security guard, which was a very big dude. And you're supposed to like do everything yourself. You can't even plug in your own mouse and keyboard. So I was trying to play. There was no WarCraft install, obviously. The shit wasn't even working. Like I paid and then I went to the computer. It wasn't working. So then I went to the security guard. I'm like, yo, like this is, with my bad English, I'm like, hey, this is not working. And he just looked at me and he's like, yeah, you got to figure it out. So that guy clearly was not going to help me. And then I ended up giving up and yeah. But yeah, we went to on Times Square one day and then they were advertising this comedian show, whatever, this comedy show. And then we went there with Neil Knarf and some other people. Maybe Incinerator was there. I'm not sure. I think it was this trip because there's so many different trips. I'm not even sure. But yeah, we went to a comedy show and the people on stage were so funny. Oh my God, they were so talented. I was really surprised because it wasn't even really that expensive. And even though my English wasn't the best, I understood most of what was being said and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, then we played the team that lost between the American team, and we won against Incin and Leotnarf. And in the grand finals, the Korean team won against Axlav Striker. Kind of crazy how you fly to New York just for some matches like this. WG 2006. Now shit's getting serious, you know? So this was like a very long tournament. Wait, actually, wait. Was it only 2 weeks? I thought it was more. So that's in Hangzhou, China, a place where that's known for like it's West Lake. Wait. Where's the lake? Is that it? That might be it, yeah. I got the West Lake on there, and yeah. This tournament was wild. Like when we got there, we were like, a lot of us were clubbing a lot. This tournament had both Counter-Strike and WarCraft 3. And as I got there, people were clubbing all the time. So I was going to club with all the Counter-Strike guys. it was like, I don't know, like a group of like 15, 20 Europeans or something, going to club all the time, getting like a table and just partying it up all the freaking time. But I still practiced quite a bit. I was rooming with Zakard at the time for that tournament. Everybody, like, we were only in one room with 2 beds and like 2 players each. I think there's a video. Does anyone have the WG video? There's like a video, right? Actually, there is a bunch of VODs. Oh, that's it. Maybe. Yeah, I don't really want to play it with sounds because I don't want to get copyrighted, but we'll play it like that. And I can narrate. So yeah, that's Sky in his room. Flat screens all over the place back then. Zakard. Look at his beast. Yeah. Me chilling. I was talking with Grubby, I think, maybe. Sweets. Ghost Up. I guess we put the undead together. You guys stay in that corner. That was the admin. They were doing the vetoes like a day in advance or something, Moon and Grubby. And they was just using like some weird card thing to decide how some of the vetoes were like gonna happen, basically. I think the music in this video is actually quite cool. I definitely recommend you guys check out that video. Sky waiting for the bus to go to the arena. Sponsored by Kappa. Kappa. Grubby and Jaxi. Jaxi was commentating. She works for Blizzard now. And yours truly, look at this guy. Look at this young handsome devil. And skinny back then too. Unreal. Unreal. Unreal what a lockdown can do to you. Yeah, we go to the arena. Yeah, there's always quite a bit of fans, despite it being in Hangzhou, you know, like not every fan necessarily from there. I really like my shoes back then, actually. Sky against me. I remember this was a crazy match. Like, for this match, I practiced a lot with some Europeans, actually, with really bad ping. So I played with, like, Fire D, like some of the very good European humans. I played a lot of customs, and then I ended up winning 3-0 with a castle style, even though Sky was always kind of forcing you into, like, breaker wars and stuff. I got a bunch of photos from this tournament. Let me see. This is one of them. This is actually a really good photo. But yeah, I was dyeing my hair very dark blue back then, so it looked more like black like this. This was actually one of my favorite jeans as well. And the Four Kings oversized shirt, of course. And look at this. I already had the dimple on my wrists from playing too much. You see this? I have it even worse now, actually. I got a few more photos. They're not exactly spread out in a very good order, sadly, so I have to look. So these were the photos from like when we were doing interviews. That was one of my favorite shirts, by the way. I bought this shirt during my New York trip. I went to a brand that was called Sean John, if you guys know it. And I really like this. This is one of my favorite, and it got lost during one of my travels, actually. I'm really sad about it. Yeah. I was always slouched. It's crazy how my posture was so bad. Look at this. What the fuck is this posture? Like, I'm like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Unreal. And I remember we had like this weird, awkward birthday for Sky. Actually, we were gonna see it in the video. And they wanted people to go on stage, and there was almost no players. So I was like, whatever, I'll go on stage. Screw it. I think that's about it. No, yeah, another one. Take photos, guys. You're in the presence of greatness. Kappa. Okay, I got more photos from this event, but it's of the podium, so we're gonna wait until we're at the end. Play a match. My face when I find a ring. Shouty, that was Shouty. I remember I had to play tiebreakers. We can go over the games in a sec. Yeah, that was some crazy games. Volcano, I didn't remember that. Who was that? Sky versus Moon, damn, Volcano in his face. Just like that, huh? Yeah, Zakal was pretty emotional after losing. Grubby meditating. Dude, why do you have your mic out? Are you in a call with someone or what? Close, wait. Am I saying close position, Turtle Rock? I think that was Sky Moon, maybe. That was so stupid. I cannot believe that ever existed. Close position, Turtle Rock. The absolute worst. The worst. I think that's me with the green. I always played. I cannot believe they allowed us to play with dark green. I think that was maybe when we played the tiebreakers, or there was a period during this tournament where I had like some really bad, some weird food poisoning. I was feeling terrible, but somehow I pulled through. I guess Moon versus Sky, maybe. Sky's a card. Shouty won against Ghost Up. Yeah. Yeah, I won one of my matches. Against Shouty, the 2-1. Grubby against Moon, so that was the craziest match. So, like, to give context to somebody that might not know, up to this point, Grubby had lost a lot against Moon, and Moon was almost unstoppable. Like, any tournament that Moon went into, he was the favorite to win. And nobody else was really supposed to win. And yeah, I think, I would say for Grubby, I don't know 100%, but I believe Moon was his number one nemesis that he always lost to. And then now he finally defeated him after playing some crazy games. He had like 4 grunts rounds. Like, he played so damn good. He was Blade Master, Torrent Chieftain against Talents. And he won. And he got up. And he got up on the desk. And he jumped with his hands in the air. And the fans swarmed the stage. And this guy gave Grubby a hug. Look at this. There's so many people on the stage. What the hell? And then that's me against Grubby in the finals. And I got the win. Little bit like back then, you know, they were really, the tournament organizers, they were really worried about pro gamers being boring. So they always told you, do a celebration or something if you win. So I was like, all right, you want me to do a celebration? I cannot break dance like socks, so I'll do this. So that's for the award ceremony. But it's funny because I really wasn't used of winning tournaments, so I feel like I didn't celebrate on stage. I was in a little bit of disbelief that I wanted the tournament this big. So I think I don't even look that happy. I feel like Grubby and Moon, they're so much better at celebrating when they win. You know, they look like all smiles and stuff. And it was 30,000, but we did split the prize in the finals with Grubby. So I had to go to the bank when I got paid and send him a big transfer. Yeah, that was some weird exhibition matches that they had going. I don't think this part is super interesting. This is a long video. I'm gonna need a break, by the way, after this tournament for a minute. That was like a Counter-Strike guy. Or SK. Yeah, that was the birthday cringe right here. They put a cake on stage, they're like, group up, you guys are so happy, you're pro gamers. Somebody put cake in Sky's face. I don't think it was me, but I wish it did. Nah, I beat him in the tournament, that was enough. That's the building of the stage and everything. That was the tournament. There is a famous video of Grubby getting chased by fans. That was at this tournament. Still using CRT monitors. Oh my god, look at this superstar Zakard. Dude, my signature is so bad. Look at this, 4K, Johan Merlo, like written like a children, and then 4K.Todd. This is awful. Chilling with Moon. It's so weird, like there was team sponsored by Kappa this whole time. Oh yeah, they pretended they were gonna throw people in the audience. I was like, no, please no. Please no. And then you don't have a choice, like, yeah, that's me. Please don't do this. Okay, we can listen to this. Oh, wait. Let me turn on my earphones. I think it's a pretty good tournament overall, but it's not perfect like every tournament. There is room for improvements, but I think it's a good initiative to bring many players around the world to compete in the same country against each other in such a tournament. I repeated myself like twice. This was terrible. Oh my god, please don't copy strike me for this music. Yeah, this was a pretty sick tournament, I think. Really fun, and then the first WG in which I actually played, I thought pretty well and won it. Because in the previous ones, I really didn't play great. Zakard was always maybe the funnest player to hang out with. You can kind of see that on those videos. It's sad that his career was as short as it was, because he was one of the funnest guy. And still to this day, one of my good friends that I talk to occasionally on Facebook. He's a great guy. Okay. So back to the games. So I don't remember much from the early games. I won against Xiaoti apparently. I lost against Ghost Up. And then I lost against Moon. I remember that's... I mean, maybe it wasn't this tournament, but I think when I played against Moon, he was the game where on Terranastan he bought all the mercenaries, and it was like the really broken mercenaries, like the other ones with the assassin that's like invisible and poisons, and the Murloc, and kind of destroyed me like that. So thank God I didn't meet him again later. But yeah, then there was tiebreakers, and I beat Xiaoti, I think maybe on Echo Isle with a fast expand. And then I played Ghost Stop in that epic game on Turtle Rock, which I believe is on YouTube. Let me have a look. It's so hard to find VODs properly. I think some of you will maybe have seen that game. But yeah, it's a game on Turtle Rock where it goes to the late game and I have Tri-Hero. And I end up accidentally dropping a Staff of Sanctuary on the ground and he picks it up. And I was like, oh my god, I'm going to lose on that. And I think it was on top. What do you mean? The VOD? No. It wasn't the right one, I think. No, this is not Echo Isle. It was Turtle Rock. And it was best of one, as you can see. Echo was there? Where? No, it's not there. If you guys find it, link it to me in the chat. Wait, it was Turtle Rock. I dropped my stuff, but then I had Tri-Hero, very high level, and then I ended up nuking his heroes and then winning the game. Which meant that I went on to the next round, which was nuts. So yeah, it was huge. And then in the semifinals, I met Sky. I had some time to practice for it, and I played a castle style. He kept playing this Archmage, Blood Mage style and trying to play with breakers in tier 2, and it didn't go well for him. To say the least, he lost 0-3. Yeah, I played Firelord. What? But yeah, he made adjustments after this tournament. He started going Panda more and more, which became the meta, despite going for a lot of breakers. Panda was really good. But in that match, It went very well for him, even though it was the crazy Breaker Wars. In some of the other games, yeah, I think Twisted Meadows, I played Castle. And yeah, the tournament was won, guys. I got some photos from the podium. Let me see. Actually, I got a photo from the clubbing that happened at this event. Look at this, getting faded. Is that Smirnoff? It's so crazy. Like, we got a table every time, bottle, everything. So we got this one. Why does he have a different shirt? What the hell? Wait, is that a t-shirt? They had t-shirts of this? I had to wear this garbage polo in like 40 degrees. This is some BS right here. They're all pretty low quality, to be fair, these photos. I don't know if there is any HD. Dude, you almost got the cup in his face. What the hell? It's kind of weird to put top 4, by the way, on stage like this. Usually you'd have top 3. Yeah, all the staff, Jack Z, commentator. Those were the days. I think that's about it for the photos. There is a photo of this when I entered the stage. Damn, these Adidas shoes were sick. To this day, I still really like Adidas. I found a really old photo. It's not really in relation to this, but I've already covered those early days. I don't know what tournament this is, but yeah, my hair was already dyed and I was wearing that FUBU thing. Okay, so that's it for part 1. And yeah, I will continue with part 2 and start another recording. But yeah, right now we're in where was WG here? Here. So we're still early 2006.